He walked onto the campus with a borrowed name and face. A freshman like the others, just another time and place. But in his bag of Walther, in his mind a list of names. The library was covered, the lecture halls were games. He wrote about the ethics of a life he'd never known, while living out the thesis that would never be shown. The thesis was murder, written in blood and lies. Between the books and blue lights, he learned to compromise. The thesis was murder, but no professor knew that every page was written by a hand that killed for you. The professor smiled kindly, said, "Your arguments have depth." He didn't know the student took a life between the steps. From seminar to safe house, from library to kill, the young man learned to balance with an unnerving skill. The grades were always perfect, the papers always clean, while underneath the surface lived the world that couldn't be seen. The thesis was murder, written in blood and lies. Between the books and blue lights, he learned to compromise. The thesis was murder, but no professor knew that every page was written by a hand that killed for you. She sat beside him in the class, a girl with curious eyes. She asked about his research, about his distance size. "Your work is so intense," she said, "so dark, so deep, so true." He almost smiled, almost said, "You have no idea who you're sitting next to every day, who shares your coffee break." But Bond just said, "It's just a phase, it's nothing I can't shake." The thesis was murder, written in blood and lies. Between the books and blue lights, he learned to compromise. The thesis was murder, but no professor knew that every page was written by a hand that killed for you. The dean called him one evening, said, "We've had a strange request. Someone's been asking questions about you, about your past, your quest." Bond felt the cold, familiar grip of danger in the air. He thanked the dean and then disappeared without a single care. The next day on the news, a name, a diplomat was dead. The questions stopped, the campus slept, the students stayed in bed. The thesis was murder, written in blood and lies. Between the books and blue lights, he learned to compromise. The thesis was murder, but no professor knew that every page was written by a hand that killed for you. He walked across the graduation stage, a diploma in his hand. The crowd applauded, parents proud, the future softly planned. But in his pocket, not a pen, a number coded new. "Report to MI6 at once, your education's through." But Thesis wasn't finished, no, it never would be done, because murder isn't written, it's a life that's just begun. Sometimes in the quiet of a London foggy street, he thinks about the campus, about the girl he'd never meet, about the life he could have had, the man he might have been, if someone hadn't seen the ghost and pulled him from within. But ghosts don't get to choose their lives, and agents don't get breaks. The Thesis was just practice for the murder that awaits. So here's to every student with a secret in their bag, to every double life that hides beneath the schoolyard flag, to Bond, the boy who learned to kill before he learned to love, and found that his diploma was a shove into a world where the only grade that matters is survive. And the thesis you'll be writing is the one that keeps you alive. He handed in his thesis, his first steps for a license to kill. The murder never stopped, it just got official.